Hello, my beautiful English learners. Welcome back to Best English Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah. Today, we begin what might be the most important journey of your English learning life. This is episode 49. We're tackling a transformation so fundamental, so powerful, that it will change everything about how you interact with English. I want you to think about this. How many hours have you spent listening to English? Maybe you have English radio playing in the background while you cook. Maybe you watch Netflix with subtitles. You're surrounded by English. You're putting in the time. But somehow, your listening skills aren't improving as fast as you'd like. Does this sound familiar? If it does, I want you to know something crucial. You are not the problem. The problem is a silent epidemic affecting millions of language learners worldwide. The problem is what I call passive listening syndrome. You're hearing English, but you're not truly listening to it. Your brain is in neutral gear, letting the sounds wash over you without truly engaging. But today, my friend, that all changes. Today, we begin your transformation from a passive listener to an active listener. From someone who just hears English to someone who truly understands and connects with it. This isn't just another listening practice. This is a complete mindset shift. This is about rewiring your brain, developing new habits, and unlocking a level of comprehension you might have thought was impossible. Welcome to the transformation. Now, before we dive into this revolutionary approach to listening, I want to take a moment to speak personally to you, my incredible community. Creating this content takes weeks of research, planning, and filming. And you know what truly makes all this effort worthwhile? It's seeing our community grow and thrive. It's reading your comments about your breakthroughs. It's knowing that we're building something special here together. So, as we embark on this transformation journey together, I have a few simple requests that would mean the world to me. First, if you believe in our mission to transform English learning, please click that subscribe button and ring the bell. Every subscription is like a vote of confidence in what we're building together. Secondly, if you're excited about transforming from a passive to an active listener, please give this video a thumbs up. That simple click helps this video travel further and tells me you're ready for this deep, transformative content. Third, please share this video with one person who you know is struggling with their English listening. Maybe it's your study partner, a colleague, or a friend in your language exchange group. Let's help each other transform together. And finally, my favorite part, I want to hear your voice in the comments. After this episode, please scroll down and tell me, what's your biggest frustration with English listening right now? Is it understanding fast speakers? Following movies without subtitles? Understanding different accents? I read every single comment personally, and I'll be there in the comment section every day this week to support you on your transformation journey. Your voice matters here. Okay, heartfelt chat over. Now let's roll up our sleeves and begin your transformation. To begin our transformation, we must first understand exactly what we're transforming from. Let me paint you a picture of the passive listener. The passive listener has English playing in the background while doing other tasks. They catch occasional words and phrases, but miss the deeper meaning. They rely heavily on subtitles. They feel tired or zone out after 10 to 15 minutes of listening. They can't recall specific details from what they've heard. They feel frustrated that despite all the exposure, their skills aren't improving much. Does any of this sound familiar? If it does, don't worry, you're not alone. This is the experience of millions of English learners. But here's the crucial insight. Passive listening will never lead to active understanding. It's like expecting to get fit by watching other people exercise. You need to engage, to participate, to activate your mind. The neuroscience behind this is fascinating. When you listen passively, only the auditory cortex is primarily active. But when you listen actively, you light up multiple brain regions. The prefrontal cortex for focus and attention, the hippocampus for memory formation, Wernicke's area for language comprehension, Broca's area for language production, even when you're not speaking, the visual cortex when you create mental images. You're literally building stronger, more complex neural pathways. You're not just hearing, you're processing, analyzing, and connecting. Now let me introduce you to the active listener. The active listener sits with purpose and intention when listening. They engage multiple parts of the brain simultaneously. They ask questions while listening. Why did they say that? What's the main point? They predict what might come next. They take mental or physical notes. They can summarize what they've heard accurately. They feel energized and empowered after listening sessions. They see measurable progress week after week. The difference isn't about intelligence or talent. It's about strategy. It's about moving from being a passenger to being the driver of your learning journey. Think of it this way. Passive listening is like floating down a river, going wherever the current takes you. Active listening is like swimming with purpose, choosing your direction, moving toward specific goals. Let me introduce you to a framework that will help you measure your progress. The 5 levels of listening comprehension. Level 1 is word recognition. You catch individual words, but miss the connections. Level 2 is literal comprehension. You understand the basic meaning of sentences. Level 3 is inferential understanding. You understand what's implied, but not stated directly. Level 4 is critical analysis. You evaluate the content, tone, and purpose. Level 5 is creative application. You can use what you've heard in new contexts. Most passive listeners operate between levels 1 and 2. Our goal is to get you consistently operating at levels 3 and 4, with occasional visits to level 5. Now that we understand the difference, let me equip you with the tools for your transformation. These 7 strategies will form the foundation of your new approach to listening. Strategy 1 is purposeful pre-listening. Active listening begins before you press play. Most people jump straight into listening without preparation. The active listener spends 2 to 3 minutes preparing their brain. Look at the title or topic. Ask yourself, what do I already know about this topic? Predict vocabulary that might appear. Set a specific goal. Today, I want to identify the 3 main points. Strategy 2 is the question matrix. Passive listeners receive information. Active listeners hunt for it. You need to go into every listening session with questions in mind. The basic question matrix includes: who is speaking to whom? What is the main topic? Where and when is this happening? Why is this being communicated? How does the speaker feel about the topic? Strategy 3 is chunking for meaning. Our brains process information better in chunks rather than individual words. Instead of trying to catch every single word, listen for meaningful groups. For example, instead of hearing, "I was wondering if you wanted to grab coffee later," the active listener hears chunks. "I was wondering if you wanted to grab coffee later." Strategy 4 is signal word awareness. English is full of signal words that tell you where the conversation is going. Recognizing these is like having a map of the speaker's mind. Categories of signal words include adding information words like furthermore, moreover, in addition. Contrasting words like however, on the other hand, despite this. Giving examples, words like for instance, such as to illustrate. Showing cause and effect words like therefore, as a result, consequently. Sequencing words like First, next, finally, meanwhile. Strategy 5 is inference training. This is where we move from literal to inferential understanding. Sometimes what's not said is as important as what is said. Listen for emotional tone. What does their tone suggest? Listen for between the lines meaning. What are they implying? Listen for cultural context. What cultural knowledge is assumed? Strategy 6 is the 3-second pause principle. After each significant segment, pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself, what did I just hear? Can I summarize it in one sentence? This simple habit forces your brain to process rather than just receive. Strategy 7 is mental visualization. Turn words into pictures in your mind. This engages your visual cortex and creates multiple memory pathways. As you listen, consciously create mental images of what's being described. Make them as vivid and detailed as possible. Now let's put these strategies into practice with a structured 21-day challenge. Neuroscience tells us it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. So we've designed this challenge to rewire your brain for active listening. Week 1 is the foundation builder, days 1 through 7. Day 1 is the preparation day. Practice 10 minutes of pure pre-listening preparation. Choose a 3-minute audio, spend 3 minutes predicting, vocabulary brainstorming, and goal setting before listening. Day 2 is question day. Practice listening with the question matrix. Use all 5 W questions for a 5-minute conversation. Day 3 is chunking day. Practice identifying meaningful chunks. Transcribe chunks from a 2-minute audio clip. Day 4 is signal word hunt. Practice identifying signal words and their functions. List all signal words in a 4-minute news report. Day 5 is inference introduction. Practice making basic inferences. Identify 3 things that were implied but not stated directly. Day 6 is pause principle practice. Practice the 3-second pause after each segment. Apply this to a 6-minute podcast episode. Day 7 is visualization day. Practice creating mental images while listening. Listen to a story and describe the mental pictures you created. Week 2 is skill integration, days 8 through 14. Each day, you'll practice integrating 2 strategies together, then 3, until you're using all 7 strategies fluidly. Week 3 is mastery application, days 15 through 21. You'll apply the complete active listening system to increasingly challenging content, from casual conversations to academic lectures. Once you've mastered the foundational strategies, it's time to level up with advanced techniques. Technique 1 is phonemic awareness training. Learning to recognize the individual sounds of English, especially in connected speech. Practice minimal pairs like ship and sheep, beach and bitch. Practice reduction recognition like wanna, gonna, shoulda. Technique 2 is accent flexibility, training your ear to understand different English accents. Try the accent tour. Spend 1 week each on British, American, Australian, and Indian English content. Technique 3 is note-taking systems, developing your own shorthand for capturing key information while listening. Practice with TED Talks using the Cornell note-taking system. Technique 4 is speed processing, gradually increasing playback speed to build processing agility. Start at 0.75 speed and gradually work up to 1.25 over several weeks. Technique 5 is multi-speaker tracking, following conversations with multiple participants. Listen to panel discussions and practice identifying who's speaking and tracking each person's viewpoint. And there you have it, your complete roadmap from passive listener to active listener. This isn't just about improving your English, it's about transforming your entire relationship with the language. It's about moving from frustration to empowerment, from confusion to clarity. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen daily. Every time you apply these strategies, you're building new neural pathways. Every active listening session is taking you one step closer to fluency. Your mission now is to begin. Start with Strategy 1 today. Join our 21-day challenge in the comments by typing, "I'm starting my transformation today." And remember, I'll be there in the comments every day to support you. I am so incredibly proud of you for investing in your growth like this. You're not just learning English, you're becoming the kind of person who takes charge of their learning journey. And that transformation will serve you far beyond language learning. Thank you for trusting me to guide you on this journey. This is Sarah from Best English Podcast, sending you love and light on your transformation path. I believe in you completely. Now go become the active listener you were meant to be.